Text 249W, 250UL, and 251UL Uni Seal Ultra repairs provide an economical way to permanently repair crown, shoulder, and sidewall injuries in passenger and light truck tires. The 250UL and 251UL can also be used to repair crown injuries in both bias and radial truck tires. The injury is permanently sealed and vulcanized by the Uni Seal stem, while the cap seals the inner liner. Importantly, these repairs are also speed rated. The Uni Seal Ultra stem and cap are covered with a gray cushion gum, which allows both stem and cap to vulcanize to the tire. In addition, a wire is manufactured into the stem of the 249W, 250UL, and 251UL to make installation of each repair unit much easier. The 249W is used to repair 1/16 inch or 1.5 millimeter injuries. The 250UL is used to repair 1/8 inch or 3 millimeter injuries. The 251UL is used to repair 1/4 inch or 6 millimeter injuries. In this demonstration, we will use a 251UL Uni Seal Ultra to repair a 1/4 inch or 6 millimeter injury in the crown area of a high-performance radial tire. These are the tech products and accessories we'll be using for this demonstration. Warning: before repairing a tire, always ask the customer if an aerosol fixer was used to inflate or seal the tire. Aerosol fixers could contain a highly volatile gas. Always remove the valve core in a well-ventilated area, away from sources of excessive heat, flame, or sparks, and completely deflate and reinflate the tire 3 times before removing it from the rim for repairs. Start with a thorough inspection of the tire in a well-lit area. The tire should not be repaired if it shows signs of casing separation, has bead wires visible, if the bead is bent or deformed, if the tire shows sidewall or tread cracking to the cord, or sidewall scuffing that exposes the cords. When inspecting tires, it is important that the tire technician looks for the following tire conditions, which make a tire non-repairable. Condition number 1. Injury greater than maximum size limitations. Industry recommendations for tire repairs state that injuries up to 1/4 inch or 6 millimeter in the crown area of a passenger tire and 3/8 inch or 10 millimeter in the crown area of a light truck or medium truck tire are considered a nail hole. Larger injuries should be referred to a full-service repair facility. If the spiral cement tool or the inspection tool number TRT 104 slips loosely in and out of the injury as shown, the injury is greater than 1/4 inch and the tire should not be repaired. Non-repairable condition number 2. Run flat or underinflated. The tire should not be repaired if it has been run flat or underinflated. If the tire has been run flat or underinflated, one or both sides of the inner liner may exhibit severe discoloration or actual separation due to heat and rim chafing. Non-repairable condition number 3. Casing separation. Any tire exhibiting rubber, tread belt, or ply separation must not be repaired. Non-repairable condition number 4. Excessive tread wear. Never repair a tire worn to the tread wear indicators or with 2/32 of an inch or less of tread depth remaining. Non-repairable condition number 5. Exposed plies or cables. A tire must not be repaired if fabric and/or steel plies are exposed due to sidewall scuffing or excessive wear. Non-repairable condition number 6. Deformed bead, exposed fabric, or steel. Never repair a tire with kinked beads or beads that are damaged, thus affecting the bead seat area. Also, never repair tires which have exposed fabric and/or steel. Condition number 7. Injury angle exceeds 25 degrees. If the injury angle exceeds 25 degrees, the tire should not be repaired with a Uni Seal repair. A 2-piece repair method should be used. Non-repairable condition number 8. Ozone cracking. The ozone and ultraviolet rays of the sun can actually cause severe cracking of sidewall rubber. If the cracking is so severe that cords are exposed, or if the cracks form continuous lines, the tire is non-repairable. Non-repairable condition number 9. Tire damage from impacts. Often, a vehicle will be driven over a curb or into a pothole. The impact of the tire against conditions such as these will cause sidewall splits or broken cords on the inside of the tire near the bead. These conditions are non-repairable. During inspection, locate and mark the injury on the outside and inside of the tire using a Tech marking crayon. Remove the penetrating object from the tire if present. Note the angle at which the object penetrated the tire. Now, continue the inspection and probe for ply separation. Tech number TRT104 inspection tool should be used to determine the size and angle of the injury. If no more than the first gray line of the inspection tool is accepted by the injury, then the injury calls for a 249W Uni Seal, which repairs 1/16 inch or 1.5 millimeter injuries. If the injury accepts up to the second red line of the inspection tool, the injury calls for a 250UL Uni Seal Ultra, which repairs 1/8 inch or 3 millimeter injuries. And if the injury accepts up to the third black line of the inspection tool, the injury calls for a 251UL, which repairs 1/4 inch or 6 millimeter injuries. Here we can see our injury has accepted the measuring tool with only the black line of the tool visible inside the tire. Thus, we will use a 251UL Uni Seal Ultra, which repairs 1/4 inch or 6 millimeter injuries. If the injury angle exceeds 25 degrees, a two-piece system must be used. Extreme angles put excessive stress on the repair where the cap and stem are attached. After removing the inspection tool, pre-clean a large area of the inner liner by applying Tech Rub-O-Matic aerosol. While the area is still moist, use the Tech scraper to remove contaminating substances. This process should be repeated 2 or 3 times to guarantee complete removal of contaminants, such as silicone mold lubricants used in the tire's manufacturing process. The important thing to remember is that the area must be cleaned. Center a 111 TM repair template over the injury and using a tire paint stick, trace around the edge of the template. This line will serve as a guide for mechanical buffing of the inner liner. This ensures that a large enough area will be buffed. Next, mechanically buff within the marked area using a low RPM buffer and an appropriate buffing wheel to achieve an RMA number 1 or number 2 buffed texture. Do not exceed 5,000 RPM. If the speed of the air tool exceeds 5,000 RPM, scorching of the rubber surface will occur, which will greatly reduce the adhesion of the repair unit to the inner liner. Mechanical buffing ensures proper adhesion of the repair unit to the inner liner by creating a clean, textured surface. Use a 271 carbide cutter in a low RPM drill with a maximum of 1200 RPM to properly prepare the injury. The low-speed drill eliminates the possibility of scorching the rubber. Following the angle of the injury, cut from the inside using a clockwise rotation. Repeat this process a minimum of 3 times. Avoid over-drilling. This could create a hole that is too large for the repair unit. Now repeat this procedure 3 times from the outside of the tire to assure proper injury preparation. Using a number S892 brush on a low RPM air tool, lightly buff from the right side of the prepared surface to the left side. You may need to repeat this process a second time to assure that all buffing dust and steel shavings are removed. Do not use a compressed air line for this procedure. The air may contain moisture and oil that will contaminate the buff surface. Vacuum all buffing dust and steel shavings from the tire. When using a brush for cleaning, avoid touching the buff surface with the vacuum. This will lead to a contamination of the buffed surface. An alternative cleaning method is to use Rub-O-Matic number 704 and a clean, lint-free cloth. Clean from the center of the buffed area, working your way out. The area should be cleaned 2 or 3 times to assure that all contaminants have been removed. Allow the area to dry thoroughly. 3 to 5 minutes. If cold or humid climate exists, allow for extra drying time. Now cement the injury from the inside out in a clockwise rotation using Tech Chemical Vulcanizing Fluid number 760 and the Tech number 915 spiral cement tool. This procedure should be repeated 3 to 5 times depending on the thickness of the tire. It's important to leave the cement tool in the injury as you proceed to the next step. Do not use the TRT 104 inspection tool to cement the injury. Next, apply a thin, even coat of number 760 vulcanizing fluid to the buff surface on the inner liner. Do not apply vulcanizing fluid to unprepared surfaces. This could lead to contamination of the repair area. Allow approximately 3 to 5 minutes to dry. Again, more drying time is required in cold and humid climates. Once the vulcanizing fluid dries, the repair unit can be applied. Remove the Tech 251 UL repair unit from its protective wrapping as shown, without touching the gray cushion gum. Touching the gray cushion gum will cause contamination. Apply number 760 Tech Chemical Vulcanizing Fluid to the black tapered area of the stem only. This ensures proper lubrication to make the application of the repair unit easier. Remove the spiral cement tool. Feed the wire of the Uni Seal Ultra into the injury from the inside of the tire. Next, grasp the wire on the outside of the tire with a pair of pliers and carefully begin to pull the Uni Seal Ultra into the injury. Pull until the repair unit seats against the inner liner. Do not overpull. This will cause dimpling and possible breakage of the stem. Once the Uni Seal Ultra is in place, press down the repair unit with your thumb. Now stitch the repair unit down from the center outward. This process removes any air which might be trapped between the repair unit and the inner liner of the tire. Exert firm pressure on the stitcher to maximize adhesion. Remove the blue poly. Thumb and stitch the edges. Then repeat stitching in the opposite direction. If you are repairing a tube-type tire, cover the repair with Tech Tire Talc number 706 to prevent the repair unit from vulcanizing to the tube. When repairing a tubeless tire, coat the buffed area with Tech number 738 Security Coat. Security Coat assures proper air retention by coating all of the overbuffed area. In a short time, Security Coat will turn black, indicating that it is completely dry. The tire can be remounted before Security Coat has completely dried. Next, go to the outside of the tire and cut off the Uni Seal Ultra stem approximately 1/8 inch or 3 millimeters above the tire's outer surface. The Uni Seal Ultra stem is now properly in place. The tire can now be returned to service. Uni Seal Ultra repairs, when properly applied, assure a permanent leak-free repair that will give your customers many more safe, trouble-free miles.